Welcome back, Math 8. Today we're going to talk about the triangle sum theorem. So go ahead, grab a piece of paper and something to write with and try out your warm-up. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, so if we look at this, we have angle 1 and angle 4, which are both right here, are called a linear pair. They can also be called supplementary or linear pair. Either one works. If we look at angles 1 and angle 5, here and here, those are corresponding, right? They're the same degree because they are in the same spot of two different parallel lines. And then angles 8 and 2, right here and here, those are our alternate exterior angles. They're on the outside of that transversal, they're outside the parallel lines, and they're in opposite corners. Remember, these ones also have the same degrees. And then supplementary just means that those angles add up to 180 degrees, right? So just like our linear pair from earlier, 1 and 4, we have 8 and 7, we can have 4 and 3, all sorts of different ways in this transversal to make 180 degrees. All right, so, too far. Our goal for today says that I can use the triangle sum theorem to solve missing transversal angles. And our learner right responsibility is to believe in my abilities to try. So the first thing that we're going to do is a little experiment. So I need you to get a piece of paper and I need you to cut a triangle out of it. It can be big, it can be small, but it needs to be a triangle. Here is my triangle. It's nice, decent size, right? 1, 2, 3 points. What we're going to do with our triangle is we're actually going to take all of our points and we're just going to rip them off. So I'm going to rip that one off. Rip that one off. It doesn't have to be pretty. We're just ripping. Rip that one off. Get rid of this part. We don't need it anymore. All right, so now we're going to take all of our points from our triangle, and we're going to put them all together. We're going to put all of our points together, and I'm going to tape them onto the board back behind me. So here's my first point. I'll zoom into it in a moment. That point's going to touch that point, or it's going to pretend to. The tape got stuck. And then my last point, gonna touch those points. All right, let's bring you closer. So all 3 of my points from my triangle are now touching each other. I want you to take a moment, pause the video, and write down what do you think happened, right? What do you notice about these 3 points and what happened? And what do you think the triangle sum theorem means? Go ahead and pause the video. All right, if you notice that when we put the angles together, it made a straight line, you would be absolutely correct. That also means that the triangle sum theorem means that all of the angles in a triangle adds up to 180 degrees because it made a straight line. If you remember, we just said in our warm-up, that a supplementary angle means that all of the angles add up to 180 degrees. Crazy. So now let's take this new knowledge and let's actually apply it. Draw this triangle, write down the information. We're going to find the measure of angle T. All right, so to find the measure of angle T, we need to remember a triangle equals 180 degrees. So we're going to take the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle M, plus the measure of angle T, and all of that's going to equal 180 degrees. Well, we already know the measure of angle A. That tells us it's 27 degrees, plus the measure of angle M, which is 82 degrees, and then this unknown measure of angle T, which gives us 180 degrees. So we're just going to add up our 27 degrees and our 82 degrees, and that is going to give us 109 degrees. plus the measure of angle T equals 180 degrees, just like before. You can subtract 109 from both sides like we've done. Right, that's totally an option. Or you can sit there and you can tell yourself 109 plus what number equals 180 degrees. Either way, the measure of angle T is going to equal 71 degrees. All right, so now I want you to try out a few. Here are two. Go ahead, pause the video, and try these two problems out. All right, so here are those two answers with their work filled out for us as well. If you remember, having to go back, this little triangle right here means that that angle is 90 degrees, right? So that means that 90 plus 41 degrees is 131. So we're 49 degrees away from that 180 degrees. And then here's the second one as well. Go ahead, check your work, fix whatever it is that you need to. All right, so here's just one more. Try this one out as well. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, and here we go with that one. Go ahead, take that moment and check it. All right, so now we're gonna make things just a little bit harder. And it looks super scary, I know. But we're only going to find the degrees for the angle inside the triangle. So if I know that the measure of angle 1 is 55 degrees, then at angle 1, I'm just going to write in this 55 because I already know that that's what it has to be. That's what the problem is telling me. And the measure of angle 7 is 115 degrees. Whoop, didn't mean for that to move. So I have those there because those are automatic. Those are not going to change. Now I'm going to use my information that I know with all of my transversal technology and terminology. I'm going to find the rest of the missing angles. Now I know that angle 7 and angle 8 are linear pairs. They're supplementary. This means that they add up to 180 degrees. So I'm just going to really quickly, I'm going to do 180 degrees minus that 115 degrees to figure out how much the measure of angle 8 is. And when I do that math, right, so 8, this becomes a 7, we're going to borrow 65 degrees, goes right here. Are you guys with me so far? Also know that angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical pairs, so they're the same. So over here, I'm going to say that angle 1 and angle 4 are, nope, not a 6, are both 55 degrees. I don't know how much that's going to help me out later, but we'll see. Now, what's also super important, because this triangle is super confusing looking, is to look at it as one transversal at a time. So those are my parallel lines. I'm going to just look at this one, just this highlighted part. I'm going to color this other one in white. Like, I don't even want to look at it right now. Can I color it? Ooh, look at that. I can color it in white. Like, it's not going away forever, obviously. I just need to get it out of my vision so that I can just look at it. If we notice, angle 8 and angle 3 are corresponding angles, which means that they're both going to be exactly the same. So if angle 8 is 65 degrees, then angle 3 also needs to be 65 degrees. And 3 and 6, both of those angles are vertical angles, so they're the same. So that's also 65. Now, I'm going to bring back that other transversal because I know, let's use orange. I know that if I take these 3 angles and I add them up together, they're going to be 180 degrees because they're all on a straight line. They're all on a straight line, so they're all going to be the same. Not the same, excuse me. They're all going to add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to say 65 degrees plus, not 45, plus 55 degrees plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. So then I can say that 65 plus 55 gives me 120 degrees, plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Subtract that 120 if you need to, and we have that the measure of angle 2 is 60 degrees. So angle 2 is 60 degrees, which means with our vertical pairs that angle 5 is also 60 degrees. Now I've got 2 of the 3 angles filled out in my triangle, which is a good thing, because now I can say that these 3 angles are going to add up to 180 degrees as well. So I'm going to have 60 degrees plus 65 degrees plus the measure of angle 9 equals 180 degrees. Hope you guys are with me so far. So 60 plus 65 gives me 125 plus the measure of angle 9 equals 180. We continue that math. The measure of angle 9 is 55 degrees. So the measure of angle 9 is 55. I'm going to get rid of all these circles. They're starting to get a little confusing. And I've now found all of the degrees for the angles inside the triangle. We could easily find the rest, and we absolutely can, but it's not necessary, because we were just looking for inside the triangle. We just wanted, let's use this pretty highlighter color. We just wanted these 3 angles inside of here. And since we found them in terms of this problem, we're done. So it looks super, super confusing, but so long as we remember our vocabulary, it's not so bad. So here's one that I want you to try. Go ahead, pause the video, and see if you can figure it out. All right, so go ahead, take a second, look at these. Hopefully you were able to figure it out, right? Those 2 green ones were my starting numbers. And from there, I just used angle relationships and a little bit of math. I actually used less math this time than I did last time. But so long as you can get the 3 angles in the middle, you're doing excellent. All right, so that's it for today. So the last thing I want you to write down is to restate in your own words what the triangle sum theorem is. And that's all I got for you today. So I will see you later. Love you, bye.